For a while now, I've been using a very simple bulb and softbox setup for these kind of videos. In this case, we've got two right here in front at roughly 45-degree angles and coming down from above. And there's a small LED panel light in the background a little bit as well. And I'm pretty happy with it. But I have been playing around with LED panels a lot more lately and working out if I can save some space and energy using a full LED setup instead. And to that end, GVM sent me this 560 AS twin light kit in a very handy bag, and I've been messing about with it recently, so I think it's time for us to switch to that setup now. I don't know why I clicked. We've got the GVM lights on now then, and my little tiny panel at the back for what it's worth. Now, the GVMs are diffused in a fairly DIY manner, especially the one over there. And we'll go into that later in the video, but does it work? That's the first test that I wanted to try, and obviously I've tried this before because, as you can see, I look a lot different than in the test footage you'll see later on in this video. Now, of course, there are plenty of other ways to use these lights, so what we want to do now is take a look at the product itself and then talk about why I would keep this kit, and along the way let's share some tips that I've learned over the years while, as I said, looking as rough as possible, you know, COVID, lockdown and all that not so good stuff. You get two of these light stands, which seem to be nice and sturdy, two diffusion panels which slide into the side more or less like so, as well as baggies to keep everything tidy when packed away in that handy case. The barn doors are nice, well designed, easy to detach to, which I have done on the other one. On the back, the powerhouse, two battery ports. You'll need both going at once, NPF 970s, color temperature and intensity dial there, Wi-Fi reset, nice big LED panel there, couple more gauges. You've got battery on off or adapter on off, your DC there, and on the side it's worth noting while we slip around, all this feels nice and metallic, feels well built. You've got some more mounting points there and there. It's a nice little panel. Let me talk about how I got on with it though. When this arrived, I first tested it with my zoom setup, as that's what we seem to be doing all the time these days. And as clean as the light is, even with the little diffusion sheet that it's got, it just wasn't going to be a solution for me personally in that scenario. So that was a no-go, and that would have saved me a bit of space, to be honest. I then tested it in the studio backdrop setup, the same scenario as we're using now, but without any additional diffusion, just that sliding sheet on both LED panels. And after a little play, I got something relatively usable. So I didn't write it off as an option, but shadows and diffusion gave me a lot of food for thought how I would resolve that with this setup, as GVM don't have a softbox set for this. Using the umbrella over there kind of takes away the compact nature of the lights themselves, but obviously you can easily just pop the umbrella down, pack it away, and you're off. So that's not a big deal. This sheet that I've put over, I don't really like that. I think it's doing some work. It's taking some of the heavy lifting off the hardness. I've popped a little light on the back and fairly usable that. It's enough waffle. better get tidied up to make a proper video about this. So I tried it with some random product shots, and this is where it will be most handy for me indoors or on set with clients. It could be a different ball game, to be fair, but we'll touch on that later, I think. I'm happy with this setup as a very quick, easy to set up and adjust color temperature intensity wise. It is very usable for interviewing or talking head sort of stuff like this. If you're careful of the shadows, I'd use that third light as I have in this shot to light up the background as much as possible. It is more useful to me for quick product shots or on-site photography shoots. It packs down to a very easy carry option. With more care than that, it should last a while. You do have a 10-foot cable with an adapter block, and I would recommend using cable ties to secure it to the pole, as this little connector here attached to the cable tie, that could pull it a little bit too much, so you want to be careful with that. Cable ties could well be your friend in that case. Otherwise, you could always use 2 MP F970 batteries, which should last about 4 hours. Now, the case and packaging that it all comes with, you saw the case, the big box, but you do get little velvety bits and pieces which are very decent and should protect it nicely. Apparently the case will give 60 pounds of protection, and those velvety pockets that it comes with for the 2 light stands, the cables, the panels themselves, very, very useful. I do like these mounting holes. You might initially just pop them on top and think, why can't I get full range when everything is open? Well, you'll see we've also got these holes here, so we can pop it on the top, and then we've got full range, including when the barn doors are open. We can move it around more than you would the other way around. Of course, you might prefer the other way, but I do like that little detail, that little dual, what do you call it? Mount holes. Very, very handy little thing there. Let's pop that back on for the time being. Now, we do have nice, clear levels monitors, easy, big, decent sized dials for color temperature and your 0 to 99 intensity. That's very handy. Now, it looks like they're around CRI 90, but I don't have anything to measure with, so I'm sorry about that. It all seems pretty good, at least for what I'm doing. You know, I'm happy. Remember, you're getting the 2 panels, diffusion, stands, cables, power block, and all that gubbins. Very nice. So I can't argue with anything really. Even the app issues don't really put me off, to be fair. Maybe it's just me. I have seen a few other reports online of people having problems with the app and others that are enjoying the app. GVM, to be fair to them, have been emailing me regularly trying to find a fix. They've definitely been on the ball. I don't know if that's because I'm making a video. I don't think so. Am I being a bit cynical? No, there's no cynicism here. I think there's some bug with the app that's not getting on with my 2 Android devices. Yeah, anyway, not too worried. I find the controls very easy to work with. I've got these in easy reach, so for me, not a big deal really. The light quality, very decent. With some additional softening, it can be used for YouTube work, as we saw in the intro. I think so anyway. And of course, portrait sessions would be fantastic with these. Outdoors, couple of batteries on, you're away. I'd have to recommend it. Indoors, I'm not sure it's going to completely replace my old cheap softbox and bulb setup for this kind of shooting. I wish it would, to be honest, but yeah, maybe I'm a bit stuck in my ways. Have you used these lights, or what do you use? It's always good to share gadget tips, and that's what the comment section's for below. So I look forward to hearing your tips. If you've got any about DIY diffusion that's not going to be annoying, I was going to place like a shower curtain sheet or wash bag sort of sheet in front of this, hanging via a stand. I was looking for something a bit more convenient, you know, like the softbox setups. The umbrella works a treat. I had to get another bracket there so I could get the umbrella in. I'll pop it open, have all this lined up, and that was nice. So that did take just another £10 or something, £9 adapter. I thought I had one. I've got loads of these little bits and pieces, but for this specific setup, turns out I didn't. Anyway, let us know your DIY setups, even more DIY than this, that doesn't involve carpentry or whatever you call cutting plastic. Yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.